you'll then see the pack of 7, the Google Places, and you can see these are all Swansea addresses with all their contact detail, contact information, contact details. Because we didn't put a geo-targeted keyword, because I didn't put plumber Swansea or Swansea plumber into the search box, then what you would notice if you went through these results is you would find that some of the other results wouldn't necessarily be targeted just for the Swansea area. In fact, you can see this one is Hornchurch in Essex, which is a good 150 miles away. So by not putting a geo-target in here, by just putting the word plumber, Google still knows where I am and still brings me back a set of results that tries to help me based on where I'm actually physically located at this moment in time. Now, we've seen how important Google Places has become for local businesses, and why we talk about fully optimizing, this Google Places listing, because it is crucial you work your way into that pack of 7 on page 1 of Google. If I went to have a look now, you'd probably find there's about 340 businesses competing to be in this top 7. And obviously you need to be in this top 7 if you want your business to be found. And that's why we've always optimized our Google Places. And in the meantime, while Google's been doing its thing, Facebook has been growing and growing, and Google can see its revenues disappearing as Facebook becomes more popular. Because what you need to remember is that these two giants are competing for advertising revenue. Google makes its money from Google AdWords. These AdWords that we see down the side and at the top, and Facebook. And similar, Facebook makes its money from advertising, which you see down the right-hand side of the Facebook page. And the biggest difference between these two giants is the actual time the consumer's online. Just think of your own online habits. If you were on Google searching for information, you're actively seeking something, so you type in, like we have done here, the keyword plumber, and up comes the local search results. And you may have a look at the listings, or you just make a phone call and the job's done. You're not actually on there very long. You could be looking for goods, and you could type in mobile phone, and up comes a set of search results with the Google AdWords at the top and the right hand side of the page. And if you click on anything, it doesn't matter what you click on, and if as the consumer, you click on one of these set of results and you go off to have a look at, say, City Plumbing, the moment you have done that, Google has now lost its chance to actually sell you any advertising, because you're now off onto another part of the internet. So Google doesn't actually get paid. Google is only going to receive revenue when you click on one of the Google AdWords that we've seen here down the side or at the top. So these AdWords may only appear for a few seconds before you decide to click on one of the search results and you disappear off onto into the web somewhere. Now take Facebook. Facebook is a totally different model. The reason consumers use Facebook is to communicate, to be social, to be interactive. They are not looking for anything in particular when they're online. They're actually only there to socialise, to talk with friends and family and share things. However, the big difference is they are online a long time, and the adverts which are showing on the right-hand side are continuously displayed for the length of time that they're on Facebook. And if the advert is done correctly, you can eventually interrupt their conversation, their train of thought, and you might get their curiosity gets them to click on the ad. So the ads show up that much longer. And they're being, at this moment in time, they're being very successful. So Facebook has started taking some of Google's advertising revenue, so Google has to fight back. And Google's answer was to create its own social platform called Google+, which it launched in June 2011. And believe it or not, this is Google's third, I think it's its fourth attempt at social media, and it really needs this one to work. So basically, as far as Google's concerned, the gloves are off. When Google first launched Google+, you could only have a personal account, a personal page. Same way as when Facebook started, you only had a Facebook personal page. And don't forget, with Facebook, you are allowed only one personal account, but you can have as many business pages running from your personal account as you want. So once Google Plus was up and running and they had lots of subscribers and they were able to iron out any of the niggles in the platform, they then launched Google Plus for Business. And basically, in the same way that you created a business page on Facebook, they wanted you to go and create a business page on Google Plus. Their hope was that every business would create a Google Plus business page, because then, in the same way that you interact with business pages on Facebook by clicking like or leaving messages on their wall, Google wants consumers to do the same with their Google Plus business pages. Now, the concept is great if you think how powerful Google Places already is. I mean, you can be anywhere in the UK or the world, and Google would still provide you with geo-targeted results based on your location, as we've already seen when we were looking earlier with these plumber results. It already can detect where you are. So Google Places is already a powerful unit on its own. Now, can you imagine if when you get those results, Google was able to tell you what your friends and family thought about that particular restaurant or that particular plumber? In the same way that on Facebook you can like a business, Google wants you to +1 a business page or leave a review. For instance, if you mouse over these, you'll see the +1 sign. If I click +1, I would be recommending City Plumbing Supplies. If I +1 this, I'd be recommending Binance Plumbing and Heating. So Google wants us to interact and share our knowledge with our friends or family and other people by clicking the +1s and leaving reviews. I mean, you can even come over here and +1 a Google AdWords. Even these are available for +1s. This is your vote of approval for that business, your personal recommendations. And all of this sounds great, and if it was working, it would be great for you as a local business, because you could move up the rankings because of your popularity with all these +1s and the reviews coming back to your site. Unfortunately, Google has hit a snag, because although the take-up of Google Plus has been fast, it, in their eyes, has not been fast enough. For instance, in December last year, the Los Angeles Times reported that Google was on target to have 400 million users by the end of 2012. And if you think about that, that's an enormous figure. Until you remember that Facebook has well over 900 million, more than twice as many, and Facebook is still growing. And when you consider that the main reason behind Google Plus is to actually take on Facebook, then you quickly realise that Google has an uphill struggle. Because another stat is the presence figures show us that the average Google Plus user spends about 3 to 5 minutes on Google Plus per month, whereas the average Facebook user spends an average of 7 hours per month on Facebook. So Google wants to encourage consumers to join Google Plus, and one of the ways it is generating users is through you as a local business, and we'll cover what that means as we go on. The first thing to note is that nothing has really changed as far as your Google Places account is concerned. You will still create a Google Places account in Google Places. You'll still optimize it in Google Places. You'll still verify your Google Places account. Everything is the same as it did before. You still go in there to do the updates, to edit, to respond to reviews, etc. Everything will be the same, because Google has made that very clear on its blog where it discusses all this. So at present, nothing has really happened other than they've cloned all the information that you have here in your Google Places. And what they've done, as you can see here, they've now taken that information and cloned it into your Google Plus account, your Google Plus local page. Because whether you like it or not, you now have a Google Plus local page, and that's where your Google Places will now show from now on. If I type in car tyres Swansea, I come down here, Phelps and Williams. So let's go and have a look at their Google. Now this in the past would have taken you to Google Places. Here's an interesting thing to note. If it actually shows you reviews, this is still Google Plus is going to take you to. Where there are no reviews at all, it will just tell you it's a Google Plus page. So you're going to go here, click on here, and this is what your account will now look like. You will be taken inside a Google Plus local page. Because I'm not signed in, it's just showing me the Google Places listing inside of Google Plus. And here's the interesting thing to note. If I want to write a review now, if I click on here to write a review, what Google is going to ask me to do is either sign into my Google Plus account, or if I haven't got an account, it will ask me to sign up. So let's go back. So you can no longer leave a review directly in Google Places. It can only be done through a Google Plus account. And this is forcing anybody that wants to leave reviews on your site to become a Google Plus member, which is exactly what Google wants. Up until now, you know, your customers could go to your Google Places page where they were invited to leave a review, and this has all changed. In fact, we had it set up for this particular local business owner where the customers would receive a discount. I'll show you. So here, for example, with Phelps and Williams, they give each visitor £5 off if they'll simply put their name and email address in here, which is just an email captured going into an autoresponder system. And we had it set up that they receive this £5 discount for opting into their email list on the day of purchase. And 1 week after opting in, they would receive an email asking them to leave a review. And in the email, we had a link going directly to their Google Places page. They can no longer leave a review directly on that page anymore. For a start, as we've already seen, Google takes them to the Google Plus page. And when you arrive at the Google Plus page, you will see that they've taken all of the information from your old Google Places page and put it here in the Google Plus. And you can, as I've already been saying, you can only write a review if you're logged in. So if you don't have an account, you have to sign up before you can leave any reviews. Now, there's a general trend of thought that says Google sees this as another way of encouraging the take-up of Google+, which, you know, it makes sense when you think that as local business owners, you should be actively looking for reviews to move you up the rankings on Google Places and to be seen as a great local business. So the fact that you should be actively trying to encourage people to leave reviews, Google now sees that as, well, we can use that as a way of getting these users to join in and become Google Plus members. And another important note here is that when Google migrated over all the information from Google Places to Google Plus, it also migrated all the previous reviews. As you can see here, these are the reviews that already existed. But there's an important difference that will come into play as and when people join Google+. If the reviews were posted without being logged into a Google+ account, then Google will default it to what you see here, a Google user. And as Google migrates all this information over, you will be asked about your previous reviews that you created when you were logged into your Google Plus account. So let's just say, I'll show you what I mean. Let's say, for argument's sake, I was on here and I want to leave a review. So I would come up here, I want to write a review, and I know it's going to ask me to account. So I'll just pause this while I log in. Okay, so I've logged into my account. Now, what I'm saying to you is, if I've left any reviews anywhere on the internet while I was logged into my Google Plus account, Google is now going to show me that when I go to write a review here. So if I click on write a review, first of all, it's going to give you a warning. And the warning is telling you, because this is why this is very important to Google. With Google Plus Local, all your reviews and associated photographs will be visible to everybody on the web under my name, Steve Brown. So everybody's going to know it's me, personally me, that's left that review. So it's my comments, my review, my opinion. And I am sharing anyone who views my profile on Google+. I'm also sharing it with anybody who does a search for place, and I've added them to my Google+ circles. Because when you create a Google+ account, unlike Facebook, where Facebook you end up with friends, and these friends can be anything from long distance cousins to acquaintances to very close friends, with Google+, you can actually group the people that you know. So you can have your family, very close friends, business acquaintances, business contacts, lots and lots of various circles, whatever you want to call them, however you want to create them. So you decide who you want to see in your Google Plus circles. So you decide who you want to see it. But when I leave a review, I am selecting who I want can see my review when they're also searching for a plumber, for car tyres, etc., when they're looking for a place. And also, anybody that comes here into Phelps and Williams, if I've left a review here, then obviously they can see my review as well. So when I leave this review, a lot of people within my circles, within my city, can see my opinion for that particular company. Now, the next thing it will do now is, because I've already left a review in the past, it's also bringing up, here's one I left here for another company. So it's saying, would you like this particular review still to be shown? Because if I tick the box, the answer is yes. If I untick it, it won't show it. It will actually remove that review. So if I click yes and show it, I can continue, and it's now going to show me what it's actually showing. So as you can see, my image, my name, when I actually reviewed it. So these reviews are very specific when it comes to using Google+. And this is going to be the real power behind Google+. And you're going to see in a minute why it's going to be so important to you as a local business. So I'm just going to come off that and ignore that for a second. So I could go in and leave a review, and Google is going to make sure that any previous reviews that I've left under Google+, I confirm whether I want them to show or not. And this is going to have a really, really big impact, and it is more powerful than any previous reviews, because you are not going to be able to fake any of these reviews. I want you to think about this. You know, we've all been in business long enough. In the past, you could create anonymous reviews, and you could either promote your business or you could attack your business with negative reviews. We've all seen it done. We've all seen these spammy reviews. With Google+, these local plus pages, these business, Google Plus business pages, they can only be commented on if you have a Google Plus account, as we've already seen. And of course, with all of Google's algorithms and the data, they will know which are the fake accounts, and they'll just remove them. And the general opinion is that these old reviews will have little impact on your rankings unless they are claimed. So what we're thinking is that Google is basically going to treat previous reviews as possibly maybe spammy, and not give it as much weight as it will do to the reviews that are done with a Google Plus account, where it knows it can check that the person exists, it can check the IP address, and it can check the account is alive and that somebody's actually using it. So if the person who created the review doesn't have a Google Plus account or doesn't create one in the future, these particular reviews that we're already seeing will remain listed as a Google user. And we think that, you know, because Google can't verify them, it will just lower the value of those particular types of review. And the other thing that Google did when it was planning on implementing Google Plus Local was it purchased a review site called Zagat. Now we understand why Google purchased Zagat, because Zagat is a global review site which actually concentrated on restaurants and did restaurant reviews. But what Google wanted was the trust factor and their rating system. Because under the old system, if you submitted a review, you would be asked to rate it out of 5. If you remember, we had the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and a maximum 5-star rating. So all of that is now changed. And in fact, if you look here, they have the scoring guide. So if you click on the scoring guide, this is Zagat's scoring guide. And basically, they list it up to a maximum of 3. So what they did was, if you had 5 stars before, then that would transfer over and be a 3 out of 3 under the Zagat system. And when you have, what the Zagat system does is, at the moment you can see there isn't no score here yet. So in other words, each of these reviews, that must have been a 5 out of 5, so that's come over and they've given it 3 out of 3 under the Zagat system. That must have been about a 4 out of 5, that's why it's got a 2 out of 3. 3 out of 3, so that must have been a 5-star rating. So when it's transferred it over, it's transferred the 6 reviews over, but that isn't enough to give it what they call the Zagat score, which are these figures here. Because once there's enough reviews in there, the Zagat system basically averages out the number of scores that you've had, divide it, you know, very roughly, divide it by the number of users, and gives you an average score. So you would have a score appear out of 30. Anything from, you know, 26 to 30 would be excellent. Anything in the 20s is everything from very good to extraordinary. So obviously you're looking for anything above 20 as your average score from your reviewers. And I want to stay on this topic of reviews because you really need to understand how powerful these are going to become for your business. Because up until now, one of the major ways that Google sorted out who's the most popular websites, you know, who should they show, who should be at the top of the ranking, the way it did it was backlinks. Now a backlink is where someone has a link on their website and it links across to your website. And as far as Google was concerned, that was a vote for your website. So for instance, if you had your business listed on 10 different directories, let's say you were on Yale, Thompson, Free Index and all these different directories, if you had 10 listings on there and each one allowed you to put your website address on there, you would have had 10 links coming back from those websites back to your website, 10 votes. But Google had a hard time policing this because, quite frankly, there are websites all over the internet where you can go and place these backlinks yourself. So you can give Google the impression that you're one of the most popular sites in your area because you've got all these votes, all these backlinks coming back to your website. Now with Google Plus, with the Google Plus local business pages, you must have a Google Plus account. So you, the individual, are responsible for posting the review, as we saw before. When I went to write this review, Google is automatically showing me, it's me. I am the person responsible for leaving that review from my Google Plus private account, from my personal account. So it's you, the actual user, me, Steve Brown, who's actually providing that vote. And in effect, providing a link from my personal profile to this Google Plus business page, Phelps and Williams. And Google, quite simply, can police this that much better, because it will know these are real profiles. It will know that's a real me. It will check on my Google Plus account to make sure it's active, that I'm in there, you know, at least once a month or something, and actually putting something in, you know, doing something. So it will know that my review is a real review. Very easy way for it to police it. It can just police everything so much better. So these reviews will be more powerful than ever and play a significant part in getting your business ranked on Google. In fact, for local businesses, the best way to describe it is reviews are the new SEO, the new search engine optimization. It's going to be the new way to get yourself ranked high. And everyone, please understand this. If you want to be a winner on this new playing field, then you need to get your customers to become fans of your business so that they spread the word about your business with their reviews. And at the same time, they're bumping you up the search engines. Because remember, two things are happening here when they leave a review. Because as we've already seen, you know, when it came up with this statement before, it's already been seen by lots of other people. So when you can get somebody who's visited your business and is happy with your goods or service, if you can get them to leave a review, it's been seen by whichever circles they shared it with, you know, so that can be their family, their friends, etc. It can be anybody that looks at their particular profile one day, and it can be anybody that comes onto your page and actually sees the list of reviews. And as we've already said, it's another vote for your business. And don't forget that as more and more people join Google+, you will link to them in the same way that you do with your Facebook friends. And the big difference with the Google+ is that on Google+, as I said before, you can segregate these into different circles. So you can have a circle of, you know, of close friends, of business acquaintances and so forth. So this is all going to be very powerful stuff, and it will grow. But the simple fact of the matter is that every time you post a review, others are going to see it and they're going to spread the word about your business. And Google will trust these reviews more than ever before because they know it's tied to these individual accounts. Yes, you know, I'm sure that people will try to game the system, you know, by creating false Google Plus accounts with dummy images of people. But, you know, Google's going to find them out so easy because, quite frankly, they can set the account up, they can place the review, but there'll just be no activity in those accounts. So Google will literally default on those reviews and ignore them. It won't count it as part of its ranking system. And the simple fact of the matter for local business owners is that the new search engine optimization for local search will be driven heavily by reviews. So it's important that you take action now and get a jump start on your competitors. Now, does all of this mean that reviews on other sites such as Yelp and Thomson Local are worthless? Well, actually what Google has done is it does include the other reviews if you look hard enough. Because let me find a company that's got them on. Bear with me a sec. So here I am in another Google Plus business page for a company called Slaughter and May, solicitors down in London. If we come down here, we'll see, same as before, the reviews have been transferred over, and you can see, you know, still saying the same, a Google user. But if we come to the bottom here, if you look carefully enough, it will say reviews from around the web, and you'll see things like here, legalweek.com, you know, so they've had 12 reviews in there, Inside Buzz, and things like Yelp and Yell and all the rest of them, they'll be listed down here. So they'll still list the other reviews, but how much weight we'll give them, I don't know, because, as I've said before, what it's really going to trust is its own Google Plus reviews, because it will know they're from bona fide people, from real accounts. And talking about powerful reviews, many people believe that Google may be developing a review algorithm very similar to Yelp. And what we mean by that is it may mean that eventually registered users who regularly leave reviews, they may have a bigger impact on your ranking factor. On review sites, such as Yelp, these are known as power